Hey everyone! If you're enjoying these stories and want the full, uncensored versions plus exclusive content, check out my Patreon. For just $4, you get access to over 440 stories, 2 new parts every day, and content that's much hotter and more limon scenes. You can also suggest and vote on future stories. This one, along with several recent releases, was chosen by a Patreon vote. Link is in the description or comments. Enjoyed the story? Years had passed since the end of the Fourth Great Shinobi War, and the world finally breathed freely again. Konoha thrived under Kakashi's leadership, with Tsunade stepping back but never fully retiring. She still occupied an office in the Hokage Tower, overseeing medical affairs and occasionally grumbling about irresponsible brats. The village streets bustled with new life. Children training to be the next generation, merchants selling wares from allied nations, and shinobi of all ranks enjoying a peace many thought impossible. Naruto Uzumaki, now in his mid-20s, had become the village's unofficial symbol of hope. Tall and broad-shouldered, his once wild blonde spikes were tamed into a shorter, practical style, though those signature whisker marks and bright blue eyes remained unchanged. He wore his classic black and orange jacket proudly, a reminder of the boy who'd never given up. As a respected jonin and frequent mentor to young ninja, his days were filled with missions, training, and the occasional advisory role that made everyone whisper he might one day sit in the Hokage chair himself. But there was another side to his newfound fame, one he never asked for but certainly didn't mind. Women from across the shinobi world found excuses to visit Konoha, and many weren't shy about their admiration for the hero who saved them all. One such evening, after an exhausting day drilling genin on Rasengan basics, Naruto returned to his apartment. He'd barely kicked off his sandals when a familiar knock sounded. Opening the door revealed Ayaka. A skilled medical jonin with long brunette hair swept into a high ponytail, warm hazel eyes, and a figure that filled out her standard uniform in all the right ways. They'd been paired on several joint missions lately, and her flirtation had escalated from subtle to overt. "Naruto-kun," she said with a playful smile, holding up a bottle of premium sake. "You look beat today. Thought you could use some relaxation." His trademark grin spread wide. "Ayaka-chan, you read my mind?" Hentai with Ayaka. They barely made it past the doorway before clothes started coming off. Ayaka pressed against him, lips hungry as her hands slid under his jacket, tracing the hard ridges of muscle earned from countless battles. Naruto lifted her effortlessly, pinning her against the wall while devouring her mouth. His fingers worked quickly, untying her flak jacket, peeling away mesh armor, exposing soft skin inch by inch. She gasped as he carried her to the bedroom, laying her down and trailing hot kisses down her neck, across her collarbone, to the swell of her chest. He freed them from her bindings, mouth latching onto one per nipple while kneading the other, drawing breathy moans. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene where Naruto gives Ayaka the legendary night she craves? Only $4 on Patreon. Naruto lay awake longer, staring at the ceiling with a faint smile. These encounters were intense fun, but always temporary. He wondered, not for the first time, if something deeper was out there for him. Deep within his sealed space, Kurama stirred. The massive nine-tails fox lounged lazily, red eyes glinting with mischief. "Hey brat!" The fox's booming voice echoed in Naruto's mind. "Not bad with that one. But you know, my chakra could make those little romps of yours legendary. A little young boost down there, bigger, longer lasting, more sensitive for them too. They'd be begging for round 10. Naruto's eyes snapped open, face flaming even in the dark. "Perverted fox. I told you 100 times, stay out of my private life. And no thanks, I don't need your help. I've got plenty of stamina on my own, believe it." Kurama's deep chuckle rumbled like distant thunder. "So defensive. Fine, reject the offer from the ancient demon sharing your body. Suit yourself, Kit." The connection faded. Naruto grumbled into his pillow. "Stupid nosy fox. Like I'd ever want demonic chakra for sex. I've got this handled." Ayaka left early the next morning with a lingering kiss and a whispered promise to repeat this soon. Naruto waved her off, then headed out for another day of training. But by midday, something felt very wrong. A strange, persistent heat had settled low in his body, an arousal that wouldn't fade no matter how much he tried to ignore it. During sparring, every movement aggravated it. In private moments, manual relief did nothing. The need just built and built, clouding his thoughts. What the hell? Did that fox actually do something? Kurama's smug presence brushed his mind briefly. Pay back for the attitude, brat. Enjoy your week. Late afternoon brought a summons. Tsunade required him in her office for a special assignment. The walk to the Hokage Tower felt endless. Every step sent jolts through his oversensitized body, the fabric of his pants rubbing in ways that made him grit his teeth. Naruto tried everything to distract himself, counting rooftop tiles, reciting jutsu formulas, even thinking about boring mission reports, but nothing worked. The heat pulsed stronger, visions flashing unbidden, soft curves, breathless moans, skin against skin. Come on, get a grip. It's just Granny Tsunade. She's like family. Old enough to be my grandma. Focus, idiot. It's probably some important mission. But the rational thoughts slipped away like sand. By the time he climbed the final stairs, his breathing was ragged, palms sweaty. He paused outside the familiar door, leaning against the wall for a moment, willing his body to calm. Just act normal. Go in, get the briefing, leave. You can handle this. It didn't help. The throb intensified, as if Kurama's chakra was laughing at his efforts. Finally, hand trembling slightly, Naruto raised his fist and knocked, harder than intended, the sound echoing down the hallway. Enter. The single word from inside sent a fresh wave of heat crashing through him. Naruto pushed the door open with more force than intended, stepping into the spacious office. The familiar scent of ink and old scrolls hit him, but it did nothing to clear the fog in his mind. Tsunade sat behind her massive desk, stacks of paperwork surrounding her like a fortress. She looked up, her long blonde ponytails framing her sharp green eyes, the diamond seal on her forehead catching the light. Her open green haori draped casually over her shoulders, the tight gray blouse beneath accentuating her legendary curves. Naruto. Good, you're here on time for once, she said with a smirk, leaning back in her chair. I've got reports of some unusual chakra fluctuations near the old training grounds. Nothing major, but I need someone reliable to check it out. You up for it? He barely registered the words. Standing there, frozen in the doorway, his eyes locked onto her. The way her blouse strained slightly with each breath, the confident tilt of her head. The arousal that had been building all day exploded into an uncontrollable inferno. His heart pounded, thoughts scattering like leaves in the wind. Hentai with Tsunade. He crossed the room in 3 long strides, pulling her up from the chair and capturing her lips in a fierce, desperate kiss. Tsunade's initial shock melted into eager response as he backed her against the desk. Papers scattered everywhere as he lifted her onto it, mouth never leaving hers. His hands tore open her blouse, buttons popping as her massive chest spilled free. He growled appreciatively, yanking the bra down to expose her hardened nipples. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene where Naruto loses control and claims Tsunade in her own office? Only $4 on Patreon. They were still catching their breath, tangled on the couch, when the door creaked open without a knock. Tsunade-sama, I brought the quarterly medical reports you asked for earlier. Shizune stepped in, a stack of scrolls in her arms, her faithful pig Taunton trotting behind her. Her dark eyes widened in horror as she took in the scene. Tsunade and Naruto half-naked, clothes everywhere, the air thick with the scent of sex. What? Shizune stammered, her face turning a deep shade of red. The scrolls slipped from her grasp, clattering to the floor. Tsunade yelped, scrambling for her haori to cover herself. Shizune! Knock next time! This isn't, well, it is, but get out! Naruto, mortified, grabbed his pants and yanked them on. Shizune-chan! It's not what it looks like. Okay, it is. But please don't tell anyone. Shizune backed toward the door, eyes darting between them, a mix of shock, embarrassment, and something unreadable flickering in her gaze. I'll come back later. Much later. She scooped up Taunton and fled, slamming the door behind her. The office fell silent except for their heavy breathing. Naruto buried his face in his hands. We're so dead. If word gets out. Tsunade sighed, tying her haori closed. Despite the chaos, a small smirk tugged at her lips. Shizune's loyal, she won't blab. But we need to deal with this now. Confront that fox of yours, Naruto. Figure out how long this payback lasts before you drag half the village into your bed. Naruto nodded grimly, closing his eyes to slip into the sealed space. Kurama's distant, mocking laughter echoed in his mind, promising the week ahead would be anything but boring. Naruto's mind sank into the familiar, oppressive darkness of the sealed space. The cold water reached his ankles, the massive iron gate towering before him like an unbreakable prison. Beyond it, Kurama lay sprawled across his enormous stone platform, 9 tails swaying lazily, red eyes glowing with unrestrained amusement. Naruto stormed forward, fists clenched so tight his knuckles whitened. "You absolute, perverted, 9-tailed bastard!" he roared, voice echoing off the walls. "Undo this curse right now! Because of you I just, with Tsunade-sama. Twice. And Shizune walked in." Kurama stretched slowly, sharp fangs glinting as he grinned. "3 times, actually. I felt that quick one against the wall just before you came here. Heh. The legendary Sannin herself, screaming your name. I'm almost proud, brat." Naruto's face burned hotter than the chakra boiling in his veins. Shame, anger, and lingering arousal warred inside him. "Shut up!" he shouted. "This isn't funny. I lost complete control. What if I hurt her? What if next time it's someone who doesn't want?" Kurama cut him off with a booming laugh that shook water from the ceiling. "Hurt her? Please! My young chakra only amplifies existing desire, on both sides. She wanted it as much as you did. I've been in your head long enough to know you've had appreciative thoughts about those legendary curves since puberty. I just removed the inhibitions." Naruto paced furiously. "That's not the point. I don't want to be some mindless animal for a week. 7 full days." Kurama corrected smugly. "From the moment I started the flow yesterday. No sealing it, no suppressing it. Permanent readiness, increased size, endless stamina, and every partner you touch becomes 10 times more sensitive. A perfect little gift for the hero who's been celibate too long between missions." "Celibate? I've had plenty." Naruto started, then stopped, realizing he was arguing with a demon fox about his sex life. Kurama's eyes narrowed playfully. Plenty of quick flings with admirers who throw themselves at the savior of the world. But nothing deeper. No fire. This week will change that. Strong women like Tsunade, or that quiet little assistant of hers, they crave a man who can match their strength. Show them the beast, Kit. Naruto gripped the bars. What if word gets out? The village, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura, Hinata. Hinata, Kurama teased. Imagine her reaction when she senses my chakra on you. Gentle on the outside, but that Byakugan sees everything. Might be interesting. Stop it! Naruto growled. Just tell me there's a way to end this early. There isn't. Kurama said flatly, though amusement still danced in his eyes. Ride it out. Or fight it and suffer. Your choice. But deep down, you're already enjoying it. The space faded before Naruto could reply. He snapped back to reality, head pounding. Tsunade had found a spare blouse and was buttoning it, though her hair remained tousled and her lips slightly swollen. She looked up as he opened his eyes. Well? What did the oversized fur ball say? Naruto slumped into a chair. 1 week exactly. No way to stop it. He says it only amplifies what's already there. Mutual desire. Tsunade leaned against the desk, arms crossed. For a long moment she was silent, green eyes studying him. This is insane, she finally said. You're the kid I taught to gamble, who I punched through walls when he mouthed off. I watched you grow up. And now, she trailed off, cheeks tinting pink. Now I know exactly what you feel like inside me. Multiple times. Naruto looked away, mortified. I'm sorry, Tsunade-sama. I never wanted. Don't, she interrupted softly. Don't apologize for something neither of us could control. And don't lie, part of you wanted it. Part of me did too. She sighed. It's been decades since anyone touched me like that. With that kind of raw need. It was overwhelming. In a good way. He met her gaze, surprised. Really? She smirked faintly. Don't let it go to your head, brat. But yes. Your stamina, the size, the intensity. That damn fox knows what he's doing. Her expression turned serious again. We need a plan. If this lasts a week, we have to manage it. Controlled environments. Data on triggers, recovery limits. But even as she spoke logically, Naruto felt the familiar surge, stronger now, fueled by her proximity, her scent, the memory of her body. His eyes darkened. Tsunade-sama, it's happening again. She saw the hunger in his gaze and felt her own body respond, heat pooling low. Damn it, already? But she didn't back away. Hentai was Tsunade. Naruto closed the distance in a heartbeat, pressing her against the wall once more. This time the urgency was tempered with knowledge of her body. He knew exactly how to touch her now. His mouth claimed hers in a deep, possessive kiss, tongue exploring as hands roamed. He yanked her new blouse open, buttons scattering, mouth descending to her massive chest. He took one nipple between teeth, tugging gently while sucking the other hard, drawing long moans from her throat. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene where Naruto and Tsunade give in to the surge once more? Only $4 on Patreon. They slid to the floor together, panting, bodies slick with sweat. Tsunade rested her head on his chest. Recovery time, practically zero. She murmured, half laughing. That fox wasn't kidding. Naruto stroked her hair, guilt and satisfaction warring. What are we going to do? We'll figure. A soft but insistent knock interrupted. Tsunade-sama? Shizune's voice, closer than before. I know you're busy, but we really need to talk. All three of us. I'm coming in. The door handle turned slowly. The door opened slowly, revealing Shizune framed in the soft light of the hallway. Her black hair, usually so neatly pinned, had a few strands loose, framing her face and making her look younger, more vulnerable. Her dark eyes, normally calm and professional, now held a storm of emotions. Hurt, determination, and something deeper that had been buried for years. She stepped inside, closing the door with a soft click that seemed to echo in the heavy silence. Leaning against it for a moment, she took a steadying breath before speaking. I knocked 3 times, she said, voice quiet but steady. I heard everything. Again. Tsunade, still half-dressed with her spare blouse hanging open and skirt askew, pushed off the desk with a sigh. Her usual commanding presence felt fragile in this moment. Shizune, No. Shizune cut in gently, raising one hand. She walked a few steps closer, stopping in the middle of the room. Her gaze moved between Tsunade and Naruto, lingering on each. I've spent my whole life listening. Staying quiet. Being the reliable one in the background. Carrying your medical bags, covering your gambling debts, healing you after every battle, and loving you the entire time without ever saying a word. Tsunade's green eyes widened, her breath catching. Shizune, Tsunade whispered, voice thick. Shizune's eyes glistened, but she didn't look away. I never spoke because you were the legend. The 5th Hokage. The strongest woman in the world. I was just your assistant. Your niece in name, your shadow in truth. I thought if I said anything, I'd lose even that. She swallowed hard. But seeing you today, so alive, so open with him, it broke something in me. First it hurt. Like losing the one thing I'd always dreamed of but never dared hope for. Then I realized. I'm not just jealous of Naruto. I'm jealous of both of you. For finally letting yourselves feel without holding back. Naruto sat frozen on the couch, pants pulled on but shirt still off, feeling like he was intruding on something sacred. Shizune-chan. He started softly. This is all my fault. Kurama's chakra made me lose control. It's not just the chakra, Shizune said, turning to him. Her expression softened. I've watched you since you were a loud, orange-clad kid causing chaos everywhere. I watched you grow into the man who saved the world. Strong, kind, never giving up, even when everyone else had. She gave a small, sad smile. I've always admired you. More than admired. But I buried that too. Tsunade stepped forward slowly, as if approaching a skittish animal. She reached out, cupping Shizune's cheek with infinite gentleness. You foolish girl. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I was terrified you'd pull away, Shizune admitted, leaning into the touch despite herself. Tears threatened, but she held them back. But now, seeing you like this, knowing there's a week of this chaos ahead, I can't stay quiet anymore. I want to be part of it. Part of you. Both of you. If you'll have me. The room hung in heavy silence. Tsunade's thumb brushed away a single tear that escaped Shizune's eye. I've been blind. You've always been more than an assistant to me. More than family. I just never let myself see it. She pulled Shizune closer, foreheads touching. I want you too. I think I always have. Shizune's breath hitched. Naruto watched, the constant throb of arousal present but strangely secondary to the raw emotion filling the office. Tsunade closed the distance, pressing her lips to Shizune's in a kiss that started soft and tentative, decades of restraint melting away. Shizune responded immediately, hands rising to clutch Tsunade's haori, pulling her closer. Hentai was Tsunade and Shizune. The kiss deepened gradually, tongues meeting shyly at first, then with growing hunger. Tsunade's hands slid down Shizune's arms, fingers working the ties of her black kimono with deliberate slowness, savoring each inch of revealed skin. The outer layer fell away, then the inner, leaving Shizune in only her mesh armor and underwear. Naruto's breath caught as Tsunade peeled the mesh down, exposing Shizune's slender torso, pale, flawless skin, modest chest with dark nipples already pebbled from arousal and cool air. Tsunade cupped one gently, thumb circling the nipple until Shizune whimpered into the kiss. Naruto rose silently, moving behind Shizune. He kissed the nape of her neck, hands sliding around to join Tsunade's, one breast each, kneading softly, pinching lightly in unison. Guys, please don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment if you enjoyed it. It means the world to me and gives me a huge boost of motivation. Your support keeps me going. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene where Tsunade, Shizune, and Naruto finally give in to years of buried desire? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. They collapsed together, Tsunade in the center, Shizune curled against her left side, Naruto on the right. Sweat-slick skin cooled slowly, breaths sinking. For a long while, only the sound of their breathing filled the room. Shizune spoke first, voice soft and wondering. I never imagined this could be real. Tsunade pressed a kiss to her forehead. Neither did I. But it feels right. Naruto draped an arm over both, pulling them closer. I'm sorry it took a stupid fox curse to make this happen. But I'm not sorry it did. Shizune smiled faintly. 6 days left, right? Tsunade chuckled, the sound warm. 5.5, technically. We'll need ground rules. Privacy. Discretion. And plenty of recovery tonics. Naruto grinned despite himself. Together? Shizune nodded, fingers intertwining with Tsunade's and Naruto's. Together. Deep within, Kurama's satisfied rumble echoed once more. And so it begins. 5 days left, brat. Let's see who else can't resist. Soft, golden light seeped through the thick curtains of Tsunade's hidden apartment, a sanctuary few in the village even knew existed. The spacious bedroom smelled faintly of jasmine incense, and the lingering musk of the previous night's passion. The king-size bed was a beautiful chaos. Sheets twisted, pillows scattered, 3 bodies intertwined in exhausted slumber. Naruto stirred first, his internal clock honed from years of missions. The moment consciousness returned, so did the heat, that relentless, throbbing need deep in his core. 5 days left. If anything, Kurama's chakra felt more potent after rest, as if the fox had recharged overnight. He lay on his back, one arm under Tsunade's neck, the other draped across Shizune's waist. Tsunade's loose blonde hair tickled his chest, Shizune's darker locks spilled over his shoulder. Both women breathed softly, faces relaxed in a way he'd rarely seen. Tsunade's green eyes opened next, sensing the tension in his body. A slow, knowing smile curved her lips. Morning already, brat? She murmured, voice husky with sleep. She stretched languidly, the sheets slipping down to reveal the curve of her legendary chest. Or should I say, good hard morning? Naruto groaned quietly. It's worse today. Like the fox turned it up a notch. Shizune stared at the voices, blinking sleepily. Her dark eyes focused on them both, and a shy but genuine smile bloomed. "Good morning," she whispered, leaning over Tsunade to press a soft kiss to Naruto's lips, then another to Tsunade's. Tsunade pulled her closer. "Sleep well, Shizune?" "Like never before," Shizune admitted, fingers tracing lazy patterns on Tsunade's collarbone. Hentai was Tsunade and Shizune morning. The morning lovemaking began tenderly, almost reverently. Naruto kissed Tsunade's shoulder while she continued kissing Shizune, hands roaming gently over both women's bodies. He spent long minutes worshipping Tsunade's massive chest, mouth sucking one nipple hard while fingers rolled the other, drawing deep moans. Then he moved to Shizune, lavishing the same attention on her smaller, exquisitely sensitive chest until she whimpered and arched. Shizune's hand found Naruto's throbbing length under the sheets, stroking slowly. Tsunade guided Naruto's fingers between Shizune's thighs, showing him the exact pressure and rhythm she liked, until Shizune was gasping and grinding against his hand. They rearranged slowly, Naruto between Tsunade's spread legs, tongue tracing her folds with deliberate patience. Shizune straddled Tsunade's face at the same time, rocking gently as Tsunade's expert tongue worked her toward climax. When Tsunade recovered, she pulled Naruto up, guiding him inside her while Shizune kissed him deeply. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene where Naruto, Tsunade, and Shizune share a tender, intimate morning together? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. They lay tangled for a long while afterward, catching breath and sharing lazy, affectionate kisses. Eventually Tsunade sighed. "We can't stay in bed all week. The village would notice 3 of its top shinobi vanishing." Shizune nodded, tracing Naruto's whisker marks. "We could rotate. Meet here at night. Or find excuses during the day." Naruto kissed her forehead. "I'll try to hold it together in public. But if it gets too bad, we'll have a code," Tsunade decided. "Toad summons with a specific message. Ramen emergency or something ridiculous." Laughter rippled through them, light, genuine, healing. A sudden puff of smoke on the windowsill interrupted. A small toad appeared, scroll tied to its back. "Message from the 6th Hokage," it croaked. "Naruto Uzumaki required at the Hokage Tower immediately for urgent council briefing. Sakura Haruno also summoned." Naruto's stomach sank. "Of course. Day 2 and already a meeting with Kakashi-sensei and Sakura-chan." Tsunade sat up, expression turning serious. "Go. Act normal. We'll cover if anything comes up." Shizune gave him one last lingering kiss. "Be strong." He dressed quickly, stealing a final look at the 2 women lounging naked in the sheets. Hair tousled, skin glowing, eyes full of new warmth. The streets of Konoha were busy with morning activity, vendors opening shops, academy students rushing to class, shinobi heading to assignments. Every brush of fabric against Naruto's skin, every casual glance from passing kunoichi, felt like torture. The morning with Tsunade and Shizune had brought him only hours of relief. By the time he reached the Hokage Tower, sweat beaded his forehead despite the cool air. The lobby was quiet. Shizune's usual desk was empty. She was probably still recovering at the apartment. Naruto signed the visitor log and headed upstairs. Kakashi's assistant waved him toward the small antechamber. "The 6th is running late with the elders. Sakura Haruno is already waiting inside." He pushed the door open. Sakura sat on the couch, legs crossed, reviewing a thick stack of medical reports. Her pink hair was pulled into a practical ponytail, green eyes sharp and focused behind thin reading glasses. She wore her standard red sleeveless top and gray skirt, the Haruno clan symbol prominent on her back. She looked up and smiled brightly. "Naruto! Haven't seen you outside the hospital in weeks." He forced a grin, hugging her briefly, the contact sending fire straight to his groin. He pulled back fast, sitting on the opposite chair. "Yeah, been busy. What's this meeting about?" "Classified until Kakashi arrives." She shrugged, setting the reports aside. "Something about medical resource distribution and potential new threats. You okay? You look flushed." "I'm fine," he said too quickly. Sakura's medic instincts kicked in immediately. She leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Your chakra is spiking erratically. Lower coils completely overloaded with yang energy. She stood, moving closer. Let me check. Sakura-chan, really it's… Too late. Her glowing green hand pressed to his neck, then slid to his chest for better reading. The diagnostic touch acted like a spark to dry tinder. Hentai with Sakura. Naruto surged forward, capturing her lips in a desperate, hungry kiss. Sakura stiffened in shock, but the amplified yang chakra flooded through the contact, igniting every nerve. Resistance melted. She kissed back fiercely, hands fisting his jacket. They stumbled through the side door into a rarely used storage office, locking it behind them. Clothes came off in frantic need, her red top ripped open, skirt hiked high. Naruto lifted her onto the wide storage desk, mouth devouring her neck, then her chest, perfect handfuls, pink nipples hardening under his tongue as he sucked and bit gently. Sakura's superhuman strength came out, legs locking around his waist, pulling him closer. His fingers plunged into her soaked heat, curling expertly while his thumbs circled her clit with precision. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene where Naruto loses control with Sakura in the Hokage Tower storage room? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire. They collapsed against the wall, panting, clothes scattered. Sakura stared at him, glasses askew, face flushed crimson. What the actual hell was that? She touched her trembling thighs. I've never come that many times. That fast. That hard. Naruto rubbed his neck, shame creeping in. Kurama. He cursed me. 1 week of permanent, this amplifies everything. For me and whoever I touch. Sakura's medic brain kicked in despite the afterglow. She summoned a green glow, scanning him thoroughly. Concentrated yang overflow in the root and sacral chakras. No harm, but uncontrollable. And it heightens partner sensitivity exponentially. Her eyes met his, a mix of shock, scientific fascination, and lingering heat. We need to study this properly. Was Tsunade-sama. And maybe Shizune. Footsteps echoed in the hallway, hurried ones. Naruto? Sakura? Kakashi's voice called. Meeting starting. Sakura straightened her clothes quickly, a determined glint in her eye. This isn't over. We're talking later. All of us. Naruto nodded, heart racing for entirely new reasons. Kurama's distant laughter echoed inside. 4 days left, brat. The pink one's stronger than she looks.